Welcome back, ladies and gents. Byronic here, and today I want to talk about something a little different. Since I started posting H1Z1 videos, there has been one common theme to the comments of nearly every single one. How is H1Z1 different than DayZ, Rust, and every other survival game? This is 100% a valid question. It's actually a really tricky question to deal with because some gamers can be very loyal to their preferred game and will occasionally cause some ruffled feathers. This is not my goal. My goal here is to look at H1Z1 on its own merit, see how it's different, and decide whether or not SOE has created something original enough for us to enjoy. That being said, let's get this started. The first thing we're going to talk about are the elements of a survival game. Quick side note, I'm going to ignore lore elements such as zombies and creepers and focus on the pure survival basics. Okay, so when we start a new game in DayZ, Minecraft, or Rust, we are always faced with finding the most essential of survival elements: food, water, and protection. If the game lacks most of these traits, I simply cannot classify it as a survival game. Sure, there are a ton of other things we need to consider as well, such as shelter and crafting, but methods to deal with hunger, health, protection from wildlife and hostiles, and other tertiary stats such as stamina are the most basic of basics. Alright, now that we have a very brief understanding of the survival genre, how does H1Z1 stack up to its competitors? Well, just like DayZ, Rust, and Minecraft, H1Z1 is built from the ground up to include basic survival elements: food, water, protection. It has all that. On the surface, that's fine. However, it is not enough to differentiate itself from other survival titles. However, with a closer inspection of each element, we can see that H1Z1 offers unique and advanced survival methods. First, water collection is more than just finding water bottles and canteens and filling them up in a river. In H1Z1, a player is able to craft a dew collector, which effectively acts as a continuous source of water as long as it's raining. You can also boil dirty water or use charcoal filters for more immediate needs. Second, food can be grown. Yes, you can be a farmer. In H1Z1, you can plant and harvest corn and wheat. You can then choose to consume the crops or convert it into moonshine or ethanol, which is used as fuel for vehicles. Lastly, let's look at protection. In H1Z1, you have the generic weapons you would expect in a survival game: bows, knives, and guns. However, this game also features unique weapons and ammunition. In H1Z1, you can use traps to catch animals, craft gunpowder, and light your arrows on fire to live out your ancient medieval fantasy. Ignoring all that though, one of the most unique systems SOE is implementing is their combo system. Just like in your favorite fighting game, using melee weapons and your fists with the right timing activates combo attacks. So as a quick recap, we can see that H1Z1 offers unique gameplay elements in the fields of survival. As every corny kung fu movie says, the basics are the most important. Based on what we've seen thus far, I think SOE has done it right. Moving on, I want to talk about another aspect of H1Z1 that could define itself apart from the rest. H1Z1 is an MMO, a massively multiplayer online game. Unlike the days of Resident Evil, where survival horror games were limited to just single-player experiences, almost any survival game today that wants a long-lasting community and player base needs to offer social interaction. That's one reason why games like DayZ are so popular. It's one of the only places you can be tied up, force-fed disinfectant, and still have a great time. The developers of H1Z1 know this and have taken it a step further. The game is built on dedicated servers hosted by SOE themselves. Everything you build in the world becomes a permanent fixture to the landscape, barring of course it's not destroyed by other players. The nature of being an MMO means player numbers will be high. This means that the chances of having those social interactions discussed earlier will be equally high. In a lengthy statement by SOE President John Smedley, he confirmed that trading between players was confirmed, which means server economies will grow organically over the lifespan of the game. Alright, so looking back at what we've talked about, we can see that H1Z1 offers unique survival elements such as farming and combos. We can see that SOE is focused on creating a full world where players can build, trade, fight, and survive in a persistent world. Coming full circle, I think it can be said without a doubt that H1Z1 is offering enough original content and providing innovations on existing survival elements to stand up on its own merit. Now, after saying all that, none of this means you should say H1Z1 is better than another or vice versa. Everyone has their preferences, and each game has their own niche. Now, as a consumer, I'm incredibly happy that another survival title is coming to the market. Competition is a great way for us to see better quality content, reduced prices, and more. Alright guys, that about wraps it up for me. Thanks everyone for watching, and if you're interested in more H1Z1 news, analysis, and gameplay, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My name is Byronic, and that is it.